What's happening, YouTube? What's up? This video gonna be about Leon Sylvers the third and his major influences musically and so on and so forth. One of the greatest music producers ever, ever. If you don't think about solo records, you know about the band, the group Dynasty, which was his band. You know about them records on the Whispers, certain things by Lakeside, and of course with Shalimar. And I can go on and on because them songs have been sampled and looped and played to death and it defied an era. And Leon Silvers III hasn't always gotten his total due, but one of the baddest to emerge. People talk about the 80s production teams, and of course, Jamie Lewis and Allie and Babyface and Teddy Riley get their due. You know, Quincy Jones is in there, and Kashif gets their due. Actually, Kashif's sound from New York was basically a sideways version of Leon Silvers III. You can make the case that Leon Silvers III should be near the top of that list. If you followed solo records and the whole thing in LA and the impact of those records, you can make a strong case. Leon was a bad dude. And the rhythms and grooves he came up on bass and the way he would structure everything in the studio, he doesn't get near as much due as he should. He was holding it down, you know. So he mentioned that musical influences, he mentioned James Jamerson, the bass innovator on those Motown records. Well, if you want to talk about a non uh, solo artist and you want to use somebody who was the frame for so many distinctive songs, Jameson would be your man. He, to me, is the face of bass. There are many great basses, and many I would put on the all-time greatest list. But James Jamerson, for that standstill sound that he got at Motown, and when he would play on those records, like what he did on What's Going On for Marvin Gaye and for so many others, I gotta have him number one. You know, all due respect to the ones who, um, plucked and also thump bass, etc. But Jameson, that was a whole distinctive style that it changed the course of music. And you know that when you hear it, it's just like those records were so distinctive. That bottom was just so distinctive that you can't even put you can't even make this up how it just still resonates. And that was the greatness and imagination of what he did. So I don't even, it's it's unique and it still stands out head and shoulders. And then his favorite female act, who I consider to be the greatest female group ever, is the Supremes. And obviously, when you say that, you're listening for sound and harmony and arrangements and production. Well, they had all of it, and they were polished, and when you understand totality, and of course, he mentioned that the Motown sound played a big influence. Obviously, the Sylvers, they worked with the producer Freddie Perrin, who worked with the Jackson Five, and did a lot of those records, and so a lot of those songs were cut in the same similar cut and vein formula, and you're going to definitely be influenced by that. And there are far worse things to be influenced by. When you hear those hit songs and the grooves and the melodies, you know that it's top of the line. And Leon Silver's third was one of the greatest to ever do it, and his work still resonates. It's been sampled galore, it's been used, and it's continued to be. But anyway, that was good to get a reflection of what influenced him and inspired him. And it's always great to hear when artists reach back and they talk about it. So let me know what you think. And did you hear anybody else in on Leon Silver's the third's work that you'd say deserved a nod? But let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like it. Hit that membership because when you do requests like this come true, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. Listen to some Leon Silvers the third. You check out those old solo records and those productions and the things he put down. You're gonna be bopping and bopping because he got so many classics. I'm out.